Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. There is a very popular former Goldman Sachs executive who states that XRP is tackling a $1.7 quadrillion problem in the foreign exchange markets. And it's impossible to really wrap your head around that number. What does that even mean? It's so freaking big. I mean, you got 5 $1 bills on the table. Yeah, you can visualize that, but 1.7 quadrillion. And it's fascinating to me. And so it was at the beginning of December, this month, that Raoul Pal publicly stated on Twitter that he was, quote, warming up to XRP. And this resulted in just a bevy of insults and mockery from Bitcoin maxi trolls who up to this point had thought the world of him. And there was one individual, and it's just been sticking with me for some reason, but I don't have to paraphrase, but he's like, it takes years to build credibility and 5 minutes to destroy it. And so this is like the level of tribalism and ideology that we're working with when it comes to Bitcoin maxi trolls. And they don't care about utility. They want their one coin, Bitcoin, their precious Bitcoin, to rule them all. That is what they want. That's what they expect. And you're the enemy if you have an opinion that isn't in lockstep with what they think. And that's what it means to be tribal and intellectually dishonest. Because you're not just straight up looking at facts and trying to come to a rational decision. You're deciding what you want to be true and looking at your emotions first, and then letting that decide what you think, or what is your worldview and your as it pertains to crypto, certainly. And so the executive I'm talking about here, the Goldman Sachs executive who has been opening his eyes and looking at XRP, is none other than Raoul Pal. And look, he only recently started looking into XRP, and it really does, just based on the things that he's been saying lately, it does seem that he's looking into it. And he admitted at the beginning of December, he literally had done zero research. So it's not that he was against Ripple or XRP, he just hadn't done any research, and fair enough. And maybe he'll finish researching and say, no, I don't like this for any number of reasons, and that would be fine, because this is an individual that strikes me as intellectually honest. And so if he just wants, if he's a truth seeker, like me, because I just want to believe as many true things as possible. If he also just wants to believe as many true things as possible and comes to a different conclusion, but it's not because of tribalism and ideology, that's perfectly fine. Then that's where I appreciate and I value diversity of thought, because as long as it's genuine, I really do value it. I just don't like the tribalism crap. And so a shout out to Frecky. This is where I came across this, and he did tag me this. He wrote, Raoul gets it, rare in this space. And what was Frecky referencing here? It was this awesome thread that I want to run through from Raoul Pal. And this is his official Twitter account, you can see. So this went out to his 296,600 followers. A few things to make you think. If Bitcoin is the digital pristine collateral, the size of global government bond market is $123 trillion. Pretty amazing opportunity for Bitcoin. The size of the global custody system is $23 trillion. That will accrue to Bitcoin and more likely maybe Ethereum. The settlements layer is over 4 quadrillion per annum. Probably Bitcoin and ETH and other blockchains, including private ones. The derivatives layer is another 1.2 quadrillion. Feels more like ETH than Bitcoin as the dominant player. So you can already see right there, he's just trying to find out where this is all going from a genuine perspective. He's not a maximalist. He's very pro-Bitcoin, but that's fine. I want Bitcoin to do well. I hold Bitcoin. I would love for it to do well, and I think it will. I just think it's stupid to be a maximalist of any coin. And then he writes, total equities traded per annum globally is around $70 trillion. Tokens are more likely ETH and other protocols. And here's the one that caused a stir. But for me, this is positive. It's like he's getting this. He's been doing research clearly, and he's seen the problem that's being tackled with XRP. And if you believe that utility matters, and from what I've heard from Raoul Pal, because I've watched a number of his interviews, he does believe that, right? And so he wrote this. Total size of foreign exchange market transactions per annum is $1.7 quadrillion. And then he wrote Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, etc. And so, if you're talking about foreign exchange markets, you can use Bitcoin, you can use ETH, you can use XRP, even outside of Ripple software. You absolutely can do it. But only one of those, it's like one of those things is not like the others. In this case, it's XRP, because Bitcoin and ETH, they are costly when compared to XRP, very costly for a single transaction and much slower. You know, you're talking about, 5 to 7 transactions per second for Bitcoin, I think 15 for Ethereum, and 1,500 for XRP. And Bitcoin, I don't know what the fees are today. They jump around a fair bit. And ETH costs whatever it costs. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's more than XRP. And XRP costs fractions of a penny per transaction. Right? And so you're not going to beat it. And that's why it's perfectly positioned for this use case of moving money around the planet. And so that's what it gets back to why my investment thesis is that utility matters and will win the day. And it can get used for other purposes too. One thing that I do think Raul might be missing at this point, he keeps talking about how store of value goes purely to Bitcoin. I don't believe that's the case. I think that maybe Bitcoin will have it purely because it was the first blockchain, first cryptocurrency ever to exist. Maybe because standards do matter. I acknowledge that. So maybe that's the case. But I think any cryptocurrency that's going to have true staying power, I mean, think about it. When new players are coming to the space, if you're an institution or a retail investor, if you're trying to decide where to invest in the cryptocurrency asset class, just for the sake of diversification, you're jumping into crypto, where should I put my money into which cryptocurrencies? Well, might you be more prone to throw your money into those cryptocurrencies that are needed by businesses in order for them to conduct their business models? Might you think, well, there's utility there, store of value. Right? Invest it, just let it ride, because it's a finite. There's a finite amount of XRP, and it's not just that. There are other use cases for XRP as well, and so that's the direction that I personally think this is all going. But I just appreciate his open-mindedness, and even if he decides that XRP doesn't make sense and it's not for him, I just respectfully disagree. But no matter what, he's clearly not some sort of troll. He's not a Bitcoin maxi troll, and that's worth pointing out right here. Now, there are a couple other tweets down here I wanted to share. This is interesting. So Frecky, who brought this thread to my attention initially, wrote in response to this guy. So there's this guy, freaking Bitcoin maximalism. There's a guy named Juan in Crypto, if I'm saying that right, responded to Raul Paul. He wrote, everything in this thread was okay until you mentioned XRP. Frecky wrote, wrong. Sorry that you can't wrap your head around having the top 3 in your portfolio, especially XRP. He's talking about top 3 in terms of market cap in cryptocurrency. And he says, you may want to study up a lot more than you think you have. The good thing is, no matter what you think, XRP will succeed. Exactly. And then there was this little thread here. Matt Hamilton jumped in. Let me scroll down. I just lost it. Yeah, here we go. So Matt Hamilton responded to the same thing. Juan in Crypto, everything in this thread was okay until you mentioned XRP. So clearly another Bitcoin maximalist with a closed mind. It's what we see all the time. Matt Hamilton wrote, why not XRP? Given XRP has outperformed Bitcoin as an investment over the past 7 years and has a much bigger addressable market, why would you not include it? Juan responded, because I don't see it being part of the FX market. At most, it is a prepaid voucher for Ripple services, which, by the way, is hilarious because XRP is one of the only cryptocurrencies being used for anything, and it's literally part of the foreign exchange market. And in fact, XRP is responsible for 10% of transactions in pretty much it's either the biggest or one of the biggest corridors for remittances from the United States into Mexico. So he probably doesn't know that, but it's actually part of the foreign exchange market right there, 10 freaking percent. And this is while the technology is in its nascency. And then Matt Hamilton wrote, what makes you think that? XRP, given you no rights to any Ripple services, XRP is just a decentralized digital asset like Bitcoin. And Juan wrote, no. And then Matt Hamilton responded, no question mark? And that ended there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to respond to Juan right now. And I'm going to write, yes. There we go. Okay, I feel like I solved the problem. All right. I'll just have a little bit of fun with that. But look, it's so unfortunate that I'm going to heart my own comment. This is like a dog like licking its own private area. I know, like that's what it is when you like your own comment, but I got to do it. Seriously. But look, it's a shame. And so to all you here right now, at least you were open enough. I don't know how long you've been in crypto. I'm sure some of you less than me, some more than me. I've been in since November 2017. But I just appreciate that you guys are all open-minded enough to do your own research and figure out whether or not you think it makes sense to invest in XRP, make your own damn decision, and not just to fall into this really toxic tribalism that is just it's overwhelmed the Bitcoin community, in my humble opinion, which is a shame because, again, I'm pro-Bitcoin and I hold it, but there we are. I'll wrap it there, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.